Hey everyone, today I have something a little different. I have some French food items that I would like to try. We have some cheese. 1, 2, 3. Of course we'll need some baguette with it. And then we're going to have some sweets afterwards. We have these madeleine. We have a pain au chocolat. And then escargot or pain au raisin. So don't worry, I'm not going to turn into an eating channel, but I've really missed going abroad, and it's probably the same for a lot of you that traveling has not really been possible this year. So I figured, why not see if I can get some French food items here at home, and I think I could have been able to get a lot more than this. I also have something to drink. I wanted some French cidre. However, the ones I've been able to find were a little too expensive for me, so I got this here. It's a Birnen cider. And this is from Upper Austria. Don't know if you can see that very well. But the lady in the cheese shop where I bought it said that it goes really well with the cheese. So I figured, let's get this. So I'm just going to talk you through the kinds of cheeses that I got. Let's start with this one here, I would say. This one is called Morbier. I bought it at a place called Käseschatztruhe. They're a really great cheese shop. And what I like about it is that they can always tell you a little story about where the cheese is from or how it's made. So, and this one, you can see, has a really interesting look. There's a black line through the middle, and that historically was ash. I'm not sure whether it still is ash or more of a dye, but the reason for it is that it was made in these small villages, and the farmers often didn't have enough milk for a whole cheese. So this was the morning milk. Then they put a layer of ash to protect it, and in the evening they put another layer of milk, and then that became this cheese. It's called Morbier. You can see that it's smear washed, meaning the cheese gets washed in usually salt water and sometimes, as with this one here, also with Marc de Bourgogne, that allows for some bacteria to grow. It adds to the taste. Right, let's try it. Sorry, I don't have a real cheese knife. I hope you don't mind. So this one is a bit more of a lighter cheese. I think the next two are going to be a bit different. But it's a really good one. Here we have something that you probably know. It's a Camembert, which is made in a lot of places in the world, but this one here is called Camembert de Normandie. So it's from the Normandy region where it was originally created. And it says here, Appellation d'origine protégée. So that means it's the name is protected. If it's called Camembert de Normandie, it really has to be from milk that's from the region and it's made in the region. Alright, it's au lait cru, moulu à la louche. I'm not sure I've ever had Camembert from the Normandy. Like I said, it's made in many different places in the world. Only about 10% of the Camembert production actually comes from the Normandy. And the ones I've had, I think were usually local ones, so from around here. When it comes to these soft cheeses, we do have some, of course, in Austria too, but they are usually not as strong as the French ones. And this has a pretty strong smell. One thing I learned when I was in France is that you mustn't cut the cheese in slices. Wrong. That's what I used to do. I got told off. So you have to cut it like a pie. Because of course the center tastes different than the part outside, which historically has not always been white. I didn't know that, but Camembert also exclusively go white, I think starting in the 70s. So you can say this looks pretty creamy. Let's try it. So this is a lot more intense than the local ones, but very nice. It's a really rich flavor. I like this a lot. Right, let's have a little citron with it. Let's make sure you can still see the stinky cheese. Okay, and then we get to the last one. And when I bought it, I apologized in advance to the people that I live with and to my poor cameraman, because this one is a really, really, really stinky cheese. When I was in France, I got invited to a cheese taste testing. And I think there were 5 different cheeses, and we sort of worked our way up to this one. This was the last one. But it was the favorite type of cheese of our host. And he insisted that we try it despite our noses saying no. It doesn't look very appetizing either. This is a teeny tiny piece of Epoisses. So like I said, this is made with Marc de Bourgogne, and he has this not very appetizing pattern here on the top, and you can see it's quite runny. I bought this yesterday and it's basically melting all over the place. It smells really bad, but it does not taste the way it smells. So let's get a little more baguette. I've really been looking forward to this one. I haven't had it in a few years actually. I didn't even know you could get it here. I've been visiting all the tiny delis and asking for special French cheeses. You can actually get a lot more than I thought, but of course some of it is a bit pricey because it's specialty food items that have to be imported. It's really, really good. And definitely not something that I've ever been able to taste here. It's really very, very different, but amazing. Honestly, this makes me very happy at the moment. But I'm going to close this up because the air in here is not really very good at the moment. And the interesting thing about this Epoisses is it's quite an old cheese. The recipe, I think, dates back 300-400 years. It was Napoleon's favorite cheese, apparently. But by the Second World War, it was almost forgotten. And afterwards, production was started again. And it's now a prize-winning cheese. A lot of people really like it, but yeah. You mustn't smell it first. Just try it. Right. Let's continue with the sweets. So this goes over here. I recently found out that there is a French boulangerie in the center of Vienna. So that's where I got this baguette, which is made with flour imported from France. And I have this pain au chocolat, an escargot, a snail basically with raisins, and these two madeleines. Let's start over here. So, what really surprised me when I was in France is that these sweet items are called viennoiseries, which basically translates to things from Vienna. And the reason is that they were made popular by an Austrian baker who opened a boulangerie in Paris about 200 years ago, in 1839. It's in the Rue de Richelieu, number 92. So, here you can see this is a type of puff pastry. So it's a laminated dough, meaning you have a layer of dough, then a layer of butter, another layer of dough, another layer of butter, and it means that it rises nicely like that. And at the bottom here you have 2 bars of chocolate. You can have these hot or cold. And I really like the way it sounds. It's really light, I think. It's a bite into. It's a really nice chocolate too. But you can tell there's probably a lot of butter in there, as there should be for French food. Now here we have the escargot. And this is basically the same kind of dough as for the pain au chocolat, and that's the same dough you would also use for a croissant, for example. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to cut this. I'm just going to pull it apart. I know you shouldn't play with your food, but I really like pulling apart this laminated dough. This one's filled with a crème pâtissière, and you can really see all the different layers. This is really, really fine. So it probably takes a lot of work to make this. This is really good too. I think I'm going to visit this boulangerie more often. Alright. And then we have one more item. And I was really, really excited to find these. These are madeleine. And it's almost a bit cliche to talk about this. But I really have very fond memories when it comes to madeleine. I didn't know these at all. And I first tried them on a day trip along the Loire. And we were sitting in this small cafe by the river. And I tried one of these and it was so good. And that's one thing I've really missed being back here in Vienna. You can get some, of course, in bigger supermarkets, but they're usually pre-packaged. And this is like quite a moist sponge cake, or sort of like this. And I think you just have to add some preservatives when you sell the prepackaged. And I do think it affects the taste. But this is really, really nice. There is a famous text by Marcel Proust about how a Madeleine brought back memories from his childhood. So, this is my story about a Madeleine, but it's a very voluntary memory. I am going to share this with some friends. We're going to have a feast. And I thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like more of this type of video, maybe trying food from different countries that I can get here in Vienna, let me know. Just write me a comment and I'll be happy to try that. Alright, so I'll see you next time. Bye.